I prefer the coffee.
What up, though? It's your boy Coffee back with another one, and right here is part three of Rocky's space that she was throwing with Danny, and also Mark had joined in. And give me y'all comments, y'all like, subscribe, enjoy. Also, at the end of the description, I'm gonna have the JBP March Sleepers for anybody that be into the sleepers. I'm gonna have a playlist right there for y'all. So enjoy. Salute.
Here's where I think King Grand Rising could here's where I think we could
Lord
have
of my goodness.
a different kind of
We're back
analysis.
at you with the king.
Thank you, my brother.
You know, no problem, beloved. So
You,
it
All first verse.
this I didn't. If someone were to hear you what you just said, they would think that she said, "Give me something concrete," and I said, "You enough, my sister," and then walked away. Right? When what I actually said, I gave a production analysis, and I said, when people are looking to produce new shows, you either need a niche. Because she asked for a niche topic. I said some people need a niche topic. Some people come for the content, and some people come for the personality. I said enough people know you that you don't need your content to be that niche. I said you need to do two things. I said it needs to be you not just talking about people, but you talking to people because you're a good interviewer. So I did. I gave something very concrete. I said I gave the format of the show. I said you be on a very well dressed set with a well produced show
Daily for
where
now.
you daily. So I gave the schedule, I
You
gave
did.
the resources, I gave the format,
You did.
and I
Danny B
gave the
got you.
personnel. So you may disagree with my analysis, but I think it would be inaccurate to suggest that all I said
It,
was "you're enough."
He
That makes
said
it a
you
good
were
joke,
enough,
but
my
that's not what I
sister.
said.
No, it
You
was.
did.
It still I think appeals to like the very
A
ethos.
base.
Yeah, like oh yo, you can do 5 shows. That's gonna look pretty. You're gonna be
Yeah.
great. It just feels like I don't know. It felt like pandering.
Would you like me to script out my first episode?
What would be so? But Danny, would you at least concede that I did give something concrete?
No, no, I
You
don't.
don't think 5 days a
I think
week,
it.
interview
I think
style,
it.
commentary, and guests on a
I
set
I
You could
think
give
it's
is concrete?
Diddy. It's blue skies. It's USA programming. It's this plot is going to be resolved by the end of this hour. That's all. That's all. That's what I felt like.
you don't
My
think you
brother.
lean into a base at all?
What's the base?
Black women?
Why do you think that's my base?
Mm.
Because I've
I'm
never
asking.
I've never heard you take the opposite point in any argument.
Give me an example.
The most recent one I know is with the Quintana Brown, I think that's her name, or
Quinta Brunson.
Quinta Brunson. Boom, the woman who had a white partner and they got divorced or whatever, and then Imani woke it up. In the sense of how you just kind of spoke to the nature of, and
How often do you watch the show?
I'm a Patreon member.
You remember when Mel and I were talking about patriarchy, and I said that women say they don't like patriarchy, but they like benevolent forms of patriarchy. Like Mel, you've probably never paid a bill at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be taking the opposite side?
Yeah, but that's
No, no.
light. That's
Hold on, hold
easy.
on.
That's quick red pill in and out. That's not nothing that anyone. That's you can be a little
Ooh,
bit
you guys
more.
are using all the buzzwords against my main man, King Mark Lamont
Well,
Hill.
not in the sense of not that deep, but it's
Bro,
like
hold on, hold on. This is where podcasts get funny to me. Is it possible that right now you could just concede that I have taken the other side, even if you don't think I do it enough? Instead of just digging in your heels and saying I never take the other side, you could just acknowledge right now that I just disproved it by saying, "Here's a counterexample." I can give you three more,
boom.
or you could just stand down and say, "Yo, brother, I still think you pander, but I
It's
acknowledge
not the
that you don't
pandering
do it."
aspect. I think you have a base, and I think that's a light topic, like saying, "Oh, somebody."
What's a heavier topic? What would be a heavier topic?
Bill Cosby. I don't know.
No,
How,
no, no, no. Even in the Quinta Brunson situation, like you gave a woman more grace than you would a man when you don't,
yeah, and
and
I
then
gave a reason, but
yeah,
that's
but the reasoning you used was based off your own personal one-to-one conversations with women, and it wasn't.
no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Hold on,
That's
time
what you
out. No,
said
it
in the
wasn't.
pod.
You did
No,
say that.
that's what Ish said. I said, and then I responded by saying, no, I'm also going by empirical data. I said that the data shows that black women are the least marriageable group by education status and by income. I said that, and I pointed to the data in that conversation.
Yeah,
Is
but
that not true? No, no, is that not true?
sure, that data is true, but
Hold
it's
on, hold on,
not
hold on, hold
speaking
on,
to the
hold on,
actual
hold on, hold on,
point
hold on, hold on,
of
hold on, hold
black
on.
men still date black
Right.
women at a 85% rate. So,
I said that too. I said that too in the interview.
in what interview? I'm
I said we
speaking
should.
to the pod.
I mean, in the pod, excuse me, I said we shouldn't also misrepresent black men and make it seem like they're just dating all these white women. I said most black men don't, and I gave the same number you just gave.
Exactly. So
Did you
why
watch?
then why would they need naturally more grace in that situation if you already understand the
Okay,
dynamics of that data you just read?
all right, you're shifting the conversation. So let's stick with one thing at a time. First thing you said is I never take the opposite position. Are you still holding on to that, or do you acknowledge that I do take the other
No,
position?
you
No,
have it, but it's very minimal.
yeah, you
Okay,
have
so
a
now let's move
base
on.
that you have to lean. 80% of the
Okay,
time,
so
you're
Okay,
90%
we
of the
got that
time
one
you're
out the
gonna
I
lean
way.
to
mean,
your
okay, so
base.
let's move to the
Cool.
next one. Let's move to the next one. You said that I
sometimes
only
James Harden posts up.
you said that I only relied on anecdotes. Do you now acknowledge that I didn't just rely on anecdotes, but I actually used data?
No, all I'm speaking to is the aspect of one point you had throughout that.
Yes, and you said the only thing that I had to show that black women have are respond this way is the anecdotes of what black women told me. And I said no. It's also I also pointed to the data in that very thing that you're pointing to. Go back and watch it.
Yeah, but so do you? So we could even have that
It's
discussion.
okay to be wrong.
Wrong in what sense? I don't believe
What
that.
I'm
I
saying
feel
is
like men need.
you can be
I feel
right.
like
I'm
men
not
need
telling
as
you that
much
your opinion
grace.
is
I
wrong.
feel like men.
I'm not telling. Hold on, just hear me out. I'm not saying your opinion is wrong. I'm saying that the arguments you're making to support you're pointing to object. You're making claims that are either correct or incorrect to support your opinion. And I'm saying the evidence that you're marshaling is objectively false. And then you say, well, 80% of the time, you just made that number up. You literally just made that number up. You have absolutely no reason to say that 80% of the time I take the opposite side,
Because
right?
Well,
bro,
well, no,
That's you
because
just made
Mark,
that up.
even
bro,
if you give five,
everybody has a base. If we
I
want to use
agree.
big words, Pareto's rule, 80% of the time you're going to 20% of the things you do dictate 80% of your life. So let's not really play semantics. I don't want to play that game.
It's not semantics. You just made those numbers up.
It's not a made up number. It's just a logical fact in life.
Your source.
No, you're missing my point.
Logical fact.
The logical. Let's say I concede to your logical fact that 20% of what my point is. You haven't proven that I do that 20% of the time, but I think you
You're
missed my overarching. You missed my overarching point, which is you have a wrong analysis of what my base is.
well,
That's what
no,
what
I
wait,
would you
hold on,
say
hold
your
on, hold on.
base
One,
is
one
then?
second, one second, one second,
based
Mark.
on evidence or just based on random opinions.
No, based on you in this moment, just saying I like and I come from X.
Right. What I'm saying is, if I have data to say what my base is. You disagree with what my base is. I'm saying, what's your source of? I can show you mine. Mine is based on who buys my books. Mine is based on who subscribes to my YouTube channel. Mine is who supports me in across all of my platforms. What is your evidence of who my base is?
The way you speak on the pod, your perception on the pod.
That makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let
Are
me
you
tell you.
playing a
My,
caricature of yourself?
no, I'm
Okay, then I
taking principle.
believe the things that come out of your
I'm
mouth.
taking I'm taking principled positions. I think that when you disagree with me, those things are louder to you than when I agree with you. You just take them as for granted. For example, in the story about meeting my daughter, I critiqued my daughter's mother for choosing the wrong person or being dishonest based on who she thought had the better trajectory. Is that a
Hmm.
woman's position, or would that be considered a quote unquote men's position?
What do you mean in that?
Okay, never mind.
I
No,
don't
I'm
think
just
No, no, no,
like,
no, 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 no.
like
Hold on,
what?
time
That's
out.
not
Hold up,
even
Mark.
that
Hold
deep.
up, Mark. No, no, no. He tried to get you. He tried to get you furious. Hold on, hold on, hold on,
I'm
hold
not
on,
trying
I
to
don't
get
think
him.
No, I just don't
hold up.
understand. What are you trying to get at? Like it doesn't.
No, no. He's trying to basically say that he didn't take the side of his baby mother. He didn't pander the woman there. He threw her under the bus.
I didn't
But
say
he
that either.
He
I
didn't
didn't
no,
say
say
that.
that.
but you
Right.
kind
He
of
had
saying
an
that though.
Exactly.
opposing.
Nobody understands. Can you expound, my brother?
What I'm saying to you is, well, I'm doing two things at once. One, I'm debating your overarching point, and I'm also responding to specific things that you're saying that I think are just factually incorrect. And so I think that's where we're getting the conversation is getting a little
Uh,
muddled. My overarching point is, if I have a single base, it's actually not based on data. It's not actually, and based on how I think about things, it's not actually black women. But second, um, if I take a position that I believe in and it's consistent, well, that makes sense, right? Like if if every other time I say the opposite, that would be contradictory or selective. I have a consistent politics. I support radical left politics. I support black feminist politics. I support LGBTQ politics. I support uh, uh, pro-Palestinian politics, anti-Zionist politics. These are my politics. So yes, across the board, I'm going to say things that respond to that. I don't have an issue with you saying that what I say resonates with the people who support me and the people whom I support. I'm not taking issue with that. I'm fundamentally taking issue with the claim that I'm doing that in some disingenuous way to make them happy, as opposed to the fact that I might actually believe it. And I think that there's a certain kind of uh, 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 intellectual narcissism, not by you, but but by the kind of all of us, where we think that we're so right that anybody who consistently disagrees with us must have an agenda. They must have a secret reason. They must have a secret motivation. They couldn't just really see the world differently than me. Like I could say that every time somebody speaks to what y'all call the red pill or the incel crowd, I could say they're pandering. Because every time somebody says, Mark, all you do is take the women's side, I could say that's pandering to the incels, right? But I don't believe that because I think you actually are being sincere. So I'm saying, why don't I get the same credit for potentially being sincere to the people? But at the same time, finally, I I'm saying that my disagreements with the quote unquote orthodoxies are far more plentiful than you'd like to believe, but people tend not to remember the moments where I disagree or I agree with them. It's the disagreements. They be like, all that nigga do is talk about trans people. All this. I'm not saying you, but like people will say something like that. Whereas when I say, well, I'm not so sure trans people should be competing, in cisgender sports, right? No one remembers that, but they remember me saying, oh, you said men can have babies 6 years ago, right?
Okay.
People only remember the part that they want to remember.
Which is deep. Mm.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
Well,
You're obsessed with Joe Budden. That's all you ever talk about, bitch. You stay online all fucking day talking
Rocky,
about his
Rocky,
baby.
Rocky, you're
Rocky,
enough.
that's actually a perfect example. That's a perfect example, right? Like
Mhm.
if you were to give 10 thumbs up on the show and two criticisms, people would only hear the two criticisms.
Absolutely.
Or Danny, right? People would say there are people I've heard Danny have exchanges with people where they're like,
Oh
all
shit,
Danny
he's
does
doing
is
it.
no. I'm not doing anything. I'm saying people would say like all Danny does is X, Y, and Z and point to negative stuff. But Danny says a lot of supportive stuff about the podcast. But people choose not to remember that and they only will focus on the criticisms, right? And I'm saying like we tend to hear the things that don't resonate with us more. That's all.
Pareto's law. 20% of the noise gets 80% of the feedback. Thank you.
But just because okay,
I'm
listen,
just,
you
hey,
can
bro, my brother. We speaking the same language. I hear you. Because
Yeah, I don't even. People don't even.
you could ignore them two comments and move to the eight and keep it moving, but you don't. You see the two. You miss the eight.
Mm,
That's kind of true, man. That's a little bit. Yeah.
mm.
Uh,
But I
you know.
respect everything you said because when you said egotistical narcissism, I had to say masterclass. He got him.
Mark has yielded.
Nah, yeah, he's good, man. It's dope, man. The wordsmith in the essence.
I think y'all forgetting
Yeah.
that Mark is a journalist. Like he's not gonna
Who's
make
who
mistakes.
can possibly forget that?
I
I think
mean,
the people in your room do.
Not at
No,
all. I hear the
I think
words he's
they're
speaking.
running.
I
I think they're
understand.
all running a mental
I
exercise.
don't. I don't even. What does that matter? Like, I mean, journal. Yeah. Certainly, Mark Lamont
He's
has.
trained.
No, he
He's
certainly has.
trained. That's what it
He has
means.
a pedigree, definitely. But we still can have conversations. It's
Yeah,
not
man.
like.
We like to
Yeah.
add to these conversations, man.
And pedigrees don't make you right. Like, you know what I mean? It's plenty of niggas with
Mhm.
pedigrees that be wrong, myself included. I'd be wrong about a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Will.
I mean,
Facts.
but
Shaq got a doctorate degree.
Yes, he does. He has a EDD, same degree as Bill Cosby from Capella University.
Phi Slammer
Y'all
Jammer.
think
That's hate.
y'all think Shaq is dumb now?
No, I think Shaq is brilliant.
And I gotta talk to him
No,
first.
I don't. No, I
Big.
don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Wait.
No, I don't. I
Let
think
us
Shaq
have
is
this
very
moment.
smart, though.
Let us
Wait,
have this
wait, wait,
moment.
wait.
Thank you, because
Is
Whoopi Goldberg is
Wait, let
beautiful.
us have this moment with Mark. He
I do think Whoopi
retracted.
Goldberg is beautiful.
he said brilliant.
Big bass.
Hmm?
He retracted.
What y'all saying right now?
What'd you say?
Mark
What happened?
retracted, guys. Let us have this moment. You said
What happened?
felt that Shaq was brilliant. And you said no, I don't. Let's have
Yeah, no, I think brilliant is overused. I think we got to stop doing that.
it. Okay. So
Beautiful.
what
Shaq
would
is
Because
a
you
good salesman.
what Andre
gauge?
saying in that song with Jeezy, like rock star, like friend, rock star, and so is a genius. Like we got to stop overusing words. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Everybody's not brilliant.
So I guess
That's a fact.
he has a brilliance in a specified area that you're.
I think Shaq is enough.
I do
Get in your
too.
bag.
Guys, it's like you're stepping on my moment. It's like someone saying I was a legend from the
I
six, and
think
you guys don't believe that they're picking me up. This is just really
I think
sad.
Oh shit,
I'm
Rocky, you
being
went there.
celebrated after all the years of people talking shit about me. Mark Lamont Hill said I was enough.
I think Shaq should do a show 5 times a week on a really nice set, and I think he will.
See, I
He
think he
will.
only need to do 2 days a week.
I think he will
Mark,
introduce.
I will say that you low key set me up for failure. A daily hour show is a bit much.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's the grind, though. I said I think that's how you. I I think that's the grind. You know what I mean?
I don't. I don't.
If it
I
was
will
just
say
Cap, I'd be like, oh,
I
just do 2 days a week. But you can't.
I appreciate you vouching for my brilliance, but I think that's overkill for me. I don't think I have the mental capacity.
Now that I understand.
Yeah,
Day to day, daily is no joke. Daily is a
it's a bit
motherfucker.
much. I
He
think
tried to line you
I
up
can
for his
do a
sister
solid
Mel.
20-30 though, for sure.
Even Lauren shit is 15 minutes. Like she don't like she like short pods every day.
The new podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of
I
feel
only
like
saw the first
bring her.
episode and it was like 59 minutes, and I was like,
Attention spans are short.
Yeah, I think
I watched like
bring
20
Lauren
minutes of
into like
it.
the back room into a booth and just like have her spit lines for 15
What did you
minutes
think
before.
about it, Mark Lamont LaRosa?
It didn't feel Danny hilarious. It didn't feel
I just made that
like
joke because people are saying you're like Mark Rosa of the show, the way you're taking over. Yeah.
I didn't think I thought it didn't feel like the show. Like it felt like an intro to the show. So I don't actually know what the format is going to look like. It couldn't be that. It wouldn't work. What she did for that first episode wouldn't work every day. But her kind of talking about how they got there. I think she's really good, but I didn't think the set made her. I didn't think the format or the set did her favors.
Hmm.
I'm a big fan of Lawrence. I just didn't think that that first episode was like a model for how it's going to look moving forward.
There
Right.
But
was video.
I think. What'd you say?
There was video.
I think you mean sound.
Oh, I thought you said.
Am I? Am I?
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Am I talking about the wrong thing? Her first thing was on YouTube. 59 minutes. That's what I saw. Am I talking about something? Am I talking about the wrong thing?
I didn't
I
see.
think that's her blog you're talking about.
It came out like a week ago, and it was like saying, okay, maybe it was just her welcoming us to what it was going to look like and what it was going to be. But what I saw, I'm looking at. Let me look at it now. But then let me stop. Then maybe I'm mistaken. I was looking at the wrong thing because I what I saw
No, he's right.
didn't feel like it was.
He's right.
Mhm.
Oh,
She did an
yeah, I'm
episode.
looking at it now. The latest with LaRosa. Yeah. Episode 1. Yeah. I didn't like if you look at it now, like I didn't think the I didn't like the lighting of it. I thought that just from an aesthetic perspective, I didn't like the thing behind her. It was kind of coming out of the back of her head. Like just aesthetic stuff. I think it'll grow, but I think she's dope. I think she's super dope. I just didn't like the first episode as I think the first episode should make people know what they're getting.
Mm.
And I didn't feel like that was it was 54 minutes. It didn't feel like that's what I was going to get. I think the 15-minute short hits of the pop culture stuff is going to be fire.
Sidebar: are you in tune with what's happening with the Real Housewives of Atlanta and them taking Kenya off the show?
Nah, I stopped watching it like couple. I used to watch it with my wife, but I don't anymore. Yeah, I mean I'm just out the mix with that. I don't know nothing about
Have
it.
you
Mm.
have you ever done any consulting for different pods?
No, I've done it for like TV shows. I've done it for some reality shows. I've done it for some news shows, but never pods.
What did you think about season 2 of Hot and Bothered? You know, the premiere.
I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I talked to Mel about who she interviewed this past weekend. I'm real excited about it. She got a
You
couple of
know
really
how
dope
Rita
guests.
Franklin said, nice gowns, lovely gowns. I say nice set, lovely set.
I,
She should
I
do
don't.
5 days a week.
I think no,
Why
no.
not?
I, I I I think her content is weighty and interesting, and should be like 1 day a week, and I think it's dope. Again, I didn't see the first episode, but I really liked last season, especially the second half of last season. I thought it got better every episode.
Weighty and interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about like sexual health and women's. That's like, you can't do a sexual health show 5 days a week.
I think she's starting off slow on purpose this season. I think it's gonna get spicier because she
I
said she
think so
already
too.
had these episodes pre-recorded. So
Yeah, the
Okay, then
That was
that
part
explains
of
it. Yeah.
the
the Mel Hive.
the way the way you broke
I
down.
am not a just because of what I
You're
said
you're the
earlier.
Mel
You know I'm
Hive.
not. You know what time it is. Stop
I
playing
got
with me.
you today. I see where you're going with this. No,
Stop playing with
I
me,
allowed you on
Rocky.
the stage. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I think Rocky Thunder is meaty and polarizing.
Meaty and polarizing.
Yes. I think you kind of you just you're like posers of content. Like you can buy to see and all that. Like, yeah.
Well, your mic is
I
actually
mean,
breaking up while you said that.
No, no,
but
no,
when
my
she
mic.
does start the one-on-one interviews, Mark, on that
I
night
can
set,
tell
you
you're
gonna
no
come
longer
do an
there
interview?
because it broke up, Danny.
Say that
What?
again.
I said when she does get
Yo,
on that
hear me?
set and everything. I hear you, Danny. You good,
He's
Danny?
just
You good?
talking over you because you sound like shit. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
you kind of breaking up. That's what it was.
Okay.
But I was saying when she gets that beautiful set and all that, are you gonna go do that interview with her, Mark?
Who?
Rocky, when she when she do that daily show,
Oh,
you
I
gonna do
can
that interview?
for sure.
Okay. She claimed it.
Yeah,
Couldn't.
Rocky, one of the most polished and just well spoken speakers out here.
I won't say that, guys. I won't say that at all.
No, your takes
It's
on the
not.
mic be pristine,
I,
They kind of they do be good. I ain't gonna lie.
like flawless takes from. Come on, Rocky.
I'm kind of
Wait,
a sniper of
you trying to
sorts.
pander?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
like, I'm like, what's going on here?
I will say I'm a sniper of sorts, but I'm nowhere near as great as Danny or Mark.
No,
See
you're
how I
better.
gave Danny?
You're better than me, man. You're
I'm pandering.
Take,
I'm pandering.
Y'all are
takes
hilarious,
be
yo.
weighted and just gifted.
I'm like, Furious doesn't talk like this.
yeah. It's a commentary. It's a satirical. Yep.
I learned from the best.
Mark, do you think I should sue Danny if he uses this space on his Patreon?
I'm not gonna use it.
I'm an abolitionist. I think y'all could work this out among yourselves.
Oh, thank you.
Okay,
I
hold
believe
on.
in y'all.
Yo,
Mm.
I'm mad loud on spaces. I
Well,
love
it's
the
1
baby.
a.m., guys. It's been great. Thank you guys for showing up to episode 1 of the podcast that never starts.
That's a good name.
This was fun.
Thanks for showing up, Mark, Danny, Dub, Issa, Furious, Coffee, Church, Ian, Sandra, all of the goodies. Appreciate you guys. Good night.
Who's that? Coffee?